Scarlett Blade. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Silent Night, Memoirs of a Royal Guard, Chapter 36. I leaned against one of Runik's workbenches, watching him work. Today I was prepared. I wore goggles, stood on a rubber mat, and had a lab coat on. With any luck, I wouldn't be on the wrong end of the experiment. So I understand you and Miley are going to see a show?
Oh, yeah,
Runik said as he turned to crank on some sort of machine.
We're going to see a rock show. I'm pretty excited.
My eyes narrowed. Runik, do you mean a new show in town, Pony Rocks? He nodded and continued to turn the crank. Slowly a barrel rose up towards the top of the machine.
That one, yes.
You do realize that it isn't about actual rocks, right? It's a musical show. Ponies sing and dance to rock music, I explained.
Runik stopped and stared at me. But it's called Pony Rocks. Rocks for ponies.
He started cranking again, and finally the barrel spilled over the top of the machine. It began to whir and sputter. Eyeing the device, I went on. I know, Runik. They're trying to be clever. You may enjoy it, though, and Miley is really excited that you said yes. You wouldn't want to hurt her feelings, would you? Throwing a switch, Runik replied,
No, I don't like hurting other ponies' feelings.
A conveyor belt started to move, bringing bottles up to the machine that were filled with a pink liquid. Then you'll still go with Miley?
Of course. Miley is a fun lab assistant. I'm sure we'll have a great time,
he said, coming over to me and handing me a box of labels. He applied one to the bottle, and I got the idea. We were making mare care products today, it seemed. You think she is only a lab assistant? I asked.
That is certainly a step from research project,
he chuckled at me. I labeled more bottles and said, I see. So, Runik, I'm no expert on this sort of thing, but I need to ask a favor, as a friend. Could you be careful with Miley? She may be a little sweet on you. If you don't feel that way, it is fine, but be gentle.
Sweet on me?
He asked curiously, putting a label on upside down. Yeah, you know, like a special some pony type of sweet. I think she likes you, I said, as I apologized to Miley internally. I really did want the best for her. Runik put another label on upside down.
Oh, really?
Really, I replied before starting to take his bottles and turn the labels right side up as he continued to put them on upside down.
Isn't that interesting?
Runik said and then added,
Is this a date then?
I think to protect her heart, she'd probably say it was an invite to a friend, but deep down, she'd like it to be a date. And it does happen to fall on Hearts and Hooves Day. I continued to fix all the bottles Runik was messing up.
I haven't been on a lot of dates, Silent Night, Runik admitted. As I told you that one time, mares don't like talking about rocks on the first date. What should I do?
Just be yourself. The labels were getting far more erratic. The bottle I was trying to fix had 6 on it. Miley already knows you. She likes you how you are. Don't do anything silly like pretending to be another pony, although maybe you should talk about something she is interested in at least once.
What is she interested in? She always seems interested in what we're doing here,
he said worriedly. Slow down there. I held a bottle in each hoof and tried to fix the labels with my teeth. I sat down and stuck out a hind hoof to catch a third bottle. She'll prompt you, I'd guess. Just let her take the lead now and again if she tries. You'll be fine. Please stop the belt, Runik. Runik!
Huh?
Bottles tumbled off the line and onto me. The top popped open and one got all over my mane.
Oh, right.
He turned off the line. I stood up from the pile of bottles and shook my mane a bit. You look great, he offered. After looking myself over, I had to agree. Runik's mare care products were the best, and my mane had never looked shinier. Thanks, I guess. Look, I didn't tell you this to get you worked up. I just wanted to be sure you didn't miss out on something. I know a thing or two about missing the subtle signs that mares send. Actually, I could probably write a book about it, but I don't want that for you. Just be yourself and you'll do fine, okay?
Okay, I'll just be myself. It will be fine.
he repeated.
Should I bring a gift? I know she likes courts.
I lifted a hoof. Why don't you just start with being you and see how that goes? If you have fun, you can worry about gifts and such then.
That sounds fair. I wouldn't want to overdo it. Mind helping me clean up?
I shook my head. No, I don't mind at all. We set about cleaning up and fixing all the bottles that had tried to bury me alive. Princess Luna and I sat across from each other at her game table. She was staring me down. Her vicious gaze didn't rattle me at all. I had her, and she knew it. The magic slowly levitated several pony figures forward by an exact measured amount. They were perfectly painted and looked exactly like her house guard.
"'Tis thy turn," she said darkly.
Her moves had been very limited thanks to my strategy in bottling her up between two hills. Princess Luna played very aggressively and in war that was dangerous. I moved one unit of my ponies up into the left hill, then I carefully pushed the group of Pegasi up on the opposite one. It would all be over soon. I pointed to the unit on the left. Those ponies have crossbows. And I pointed the house guards that were exposed, and those are the targets. I picked up 15 dice, gave it a little shake before dropping them. We looked them over, and I said, 12 hits minus 2 to your armor saves. Princess Luna wrinkled her nose in a sour look. She rolled the 12 dice. 2 saves. Gently, she turned the pieces on to their side. She was careful about whom to choose. She stuck her tongue out before turning the figure that looked like me over. Well, you're certainly not going to win now, I teased. She snorted and waved a hoof at me. I think there is little chance of victory now. Thou hast outmaneuvered me again. Wilt thou show me my errors? If you would like. Thank you for the game, I said before moving around to the side of her table. It all starts with the terrain. Generally, a high ground is always favorable. You seem to rely on the fact that your soldiers are better than mine. Never underestimate what unskilled warriors in mass can achieve under good leadership. The princess seemed to think that over. What if both our soldiers are highly trained? It all comes down to morale, tactics, teamwork, and luck. Luck? She seemed surprised. Slowly I nodded. It may not seem elegant and comforting, but luck will always matter. We do the best we can to hope everything works as we plan, but plans never survive the first contact with the enemy. Princess Luna set her hooves on the table and replied, I see. Perhaps it is best that thou beginnest instructing me in the art of war. I had tilted. Why would you want to learn about something awful like that, princess? The same reason that thou hast learned. Just in case. That gave me a pause. Then I nodded. Very well. A ruler of Equestria should know the basics of warfare. Just in case. Knoweth all royal guards as much about it as thou dost? I shook my head. No, that is my father's doing. That in my own interest. I've had a lot of time to study in the evenings. Princess Luna lightly patted me on the shoulder. I think thy time would be better spent looking for a new companion. I've got plenty of companions, I said, missing the point on purpose. I wasn't sure I wanted to go over this with Princess Luna again. Thou knowest exactly what I meant. Thou cannot turn a blind eye to romance forever simply because of one, she hedged, unfortunate experience. I cleared my throat and lowered my voice. I wasn't particularly interested in Miley Hooves hearing this conversation. Yes, I know what you meant, princess. I'm the unit sergeant now. I've got a lot on my plate. There are a lot of ponies counting on me. And what of thou? Is that not a life half lived? She asked. Softly I rested a hoof over hers. Princess, I'm truly grateful for your concern. That alone is more than I ever saw for myself in my life. I have friends, family, and ponies that are concerned for my well-being. It is enough for me. I would like for it to be enough for the rest of you. Princess Luna blinked and looked me in the eyes. If that is thy wish, it is. Then perhaps we should get back to learning about warfare. We'll save romance for another day. Sunny days slipped out of the shadows to fall in beside me as I walked toward Princess Luna's chambers. The princess had asked me to come back by before I went home for the day. As you were, the unicorn said before I could properly salute. That was some tussle the other night, wasn't it? Yes, ma'am, and I apologize for that. I can assure you that it absolutely won't happen again. She winked at me. Oh, I'm sure. They're all terrified of you. If you tell them to straighten up, they'll straighten up. My ear flicked. Terrified? No pony is terrified of me. You say that, but they are. After the other night, most of my ponies are too. You jumped into that fight, took some good licks, and still pulled the ponies apart like a professional. You didn't even lose your cool, you just gave that disapproving glare. I was impressed. It wasn't clear to me where the conversation was going. All right, well, perhaps it is wise to be frightened by a first sergeant? I'm not scared, though, she said pointedly. You're a lieutenant, and as best as I can tell, nothing scares you anyway. What's your point? I asked. Sunny laughed a bit and replied, No point, just that I'm not scared. Bye. She made a right and took off down the hall as I reached Princess Ina's chambers. I simply didn't get Sunny Day. The princess's doors was open, and I went inside. Blackblade was keeping watch, and the princess nodded towards him from her seat at her game table. Take position outside, please, I told the Earth Pony, and he did so. After pushing the door shut, I went over and sat across from the princess. She was painting some more miniatures. The current one, captured in her magic, looked exactly like her. Her name was Nocturna. The figure? The alicorn thou sawest in the stained glass. She was going to be my mentor. Going to be? I asked. The princess shook her head. I do not wish to discuss that. I felt thou hadst the right to understand a little more of what thou hasn't seen. That why thou mayest make an educated decision on what I am about to ask. Are you going to ask me to go on another mission? I am. Thou art uniquely suited for this work, even though thou wouldst be aware of it. I know circumventing royal guard procedures will givest thou pause. Were this not important, I would never ask, but it must. Wilt thou be my agent? If it had been any other pony, I'd have gone to the captain. Any other pony in all of Equestria, and I wouldn't give it a second thought. This wasn't any pony, though. This was Princess Luna. My career would be in jeopardy, and I certainly didn't like keeping secrets, but when she said uniquely suited, I didn't take it as an exaggeration. She seemed genuine. Yes, there was nothing else that needed said. Thou hast my sincere gratitude. She took my helmet off and set it on the table. From the drawer she produced a silver chain with a white crescent moon pendant that went around my neck, and my vision changed. It was the same as the last time. Fly west to the Smoky Mountain. Near the base of the western face thou wilt find a stone circle set into the cliff face. Press the talisman to it and it will open. Report back what thou findest. Princess, is there any way you could be less cryptic about this? What exactly are you hoping for me to find? She straightened and looked at me sternly. This is difficult for me, Silent Knight. We had a staring contest, and there was little doubt that she was going to win. I did my best to hang in there, though. If I was to be her agent, I needed to know more. Finally, she sighed, Thou art looking for ponies or any indication of where they may have gone. It caught me off guard. She'd had me and decided to tell me anyway. Perhaps I should go easier on her. Ponies. All right, then. I'll be on my way. When I reached for my helmet, she set a hoof on mine and shook her head. Evidently, the princess wasn't worried about me being brained. Off I went to another crypt, most likely. Without my helmet, I decided to exit from the balcony. If there were ponies to be found, I hoped they were friendly and willing to have a house guest. Well, then I hope you guys have had a wunderbar day.